Peatlands have numerous functions in nature. Since we usually see only the surface of a peatland, it is easy to overlook their importance. The key is what lies under the surface. A peat layer of up to 10 meters or more that has accumulated during thousands of years through the decomposition of peatland plants. An important characteristic of peatland plants is that even after decomposing into fine particles, they can still retain water. In fact, peat can absorb over 95% of its weight in water. One of the most important functions of peatland is its ability to store and filter water. Whether rainwater or water from runoff, peatlands act as nature's filter. It cleans the water of toxins and heavy metals and other harmful particles, thus improving downstream water quality. Peatlands can act as a buffer for heavy rainfall, absorbing the rain and releasing it more slowly over time, which often reduces the amount of possible flooding. Water is also important for the health of peatland. Peat accumulation requires water level close to the surface. Water levels that are too low or too high disturb peat accumulation and related functions. It is important to understand the hydrology of peatlands and the potential damages of drainage. Another important function of natural peatlands is their ability to accumulate carbon. Carbon is absorbed by living peatland plants, and when the plants die and turn to peat, much of that carbon remains in the peat. Peatlands where the rate of accumulation is higher than the rate of decomposition are considered to be carbon sinks. The total amount of fixed carbon in global peatlands is estimated at roughly 300 to 500 million tons, about the same amount as in all the forests and plants on the planet. Natural peatlands act as sinks of atmospheric carbon dioxide and large reservoirs of carbon and nitrogen. On the other hand, natural peatlands emit methane and nitrous oxide. Global interest in climate change has led to numerous research projects studying the role of peatlands as a sink and source of greenhouse gases. So far, the results of these studies have been very complex and incomplete. Further study is needed for a better understanding of the role of peatlands in global warming and to develop wise management practices for their use. Another important natural function of peatlands is the plant habitat which they provide. Because of extreme conditions, being waterlogged, acidic and low in nutrients, natural peatlands support fewer species than mineral soils. On the other hand, many peatland species are highly specialized and are not found in other habitat types. Peatland plants have developed several unusual mechanisms to enable them to cope with conditions. Their root systems can be huge, enabling them to absorb large amounts of nutrients, and some can even steal nutrients from other plants. Some plants have developed partnerships with other organisms, and others can even catch and digest insects. Many of the wild plants growing on natural peatlands are useful to man. One of the oldest and most widespread forms of utilization has been their use as litter or fodder. Another important use is the collection of edible berries such as cloudberries, cranberries, lingonberries, and whortleberries. In good years, thousands of tons of berries are picked from natural peatlands, especially in the Nordic countries and Russia. Peatland plants are also widely used for medical purposes. It is estimated that thousands of species of peatland plants or wetland plants are used for medicine on a worldwide basis. Most of them are used by local people but several hundred peatland species provide the basis for medicines sold on a commercial scale. As non-tropical peatlands are generally low in nutrients and subject to strong fluctuations in temperature, there is little food for animals to live on. As a result, peatland fauna is quite limited. The most typical birds living or nesting in natural peatlands or their surroundings are cranes and swans, peregrine falcon, marsh hawk and osprey, as well as small waterfowl and sandpipers, willow ptarmigan and black grouse. Elks and reindeer like to walk on peatlands and eat hay and grasses growing on them, and bears, foxes, wolves and wolverines often visit peatlands in search of prey. Throughout history, peatlands have been treated as obstacles to human life and movement, or as worthless areas of land. Today, we understand peatlands to be a valuable and important part of the Earth's ecosystem, and that they must be dealt with responsibly and wisely.